You got dumped and you wisely went no contact with the ex who dumped you, but your ex is an avoidant. Either a dismissive avoidant or a fearful one. And don't worry, I'm covering both. But avoidant exes take a notoriously long time to come back around again, and they may very well miss you, but not want to be vulnerable enough to just come right out and say it. So in this video, I'm covering the 7 clear signs that your avoidant ex misses you, but won't admit it. So let's talk about it. The dismissive avoidant, of course, keeps everyone out here at arm's length. They fear emotional intimacy, they fear losing their independence, and they learned at a young age that the only way to protect their heart was to never let anybody in too close, because they got burned by mom or dad or whoever their primary caretakers were. The fearful avoidant, on the other hand, is often that way, but if they sense you pulling away, like you do when you go no contact, then they switch essentially to an anxious attachment style and try and pull you back in again. So sign number 1, the physical orbit. The dismissive avoidant will show up strategically at places they think it's likely you might be at. Bars, gyms, coffee shops. If you work together, they may try and time their breaks to, coincidentally, line up with yours. The fearful avoidant, on the other hand, is going to be much more emotionally erratic. If you take a fitness class somewhere, they may just sign up for that same class. They may show up at multiple locations in one day where they think it's likely you're going to be hanging out. And they create reasons to visit you at these places. And if you're still sharing locations together, the fearful avoidant is definitely going to be stalking your location and regularly showing up at places where they know you're hanging out at. Sign number 2, the friend investigation. The dismissive avoidant will be reaching out to one mutual friend that the two of you share. They'll be very calculated in the questions they ask this mutual friend. They won't come across as emotional or erratic or unstable in any way. And they may come across as kind of cool, calculated, and indifferent, as if they really couldn't care less. But if that was true, they wouldn't be asking about you at all. And they may just say like, well, I just wanted to check in and see how he was doing. The fearful avoidant, on the other hand, as you might guess, is going to be asking every mutual friend or family member that they're still connected to. They're going to be very emotional when they talk to these people, and they're going to want to know every aspect about what's going on with your life, including your dating life. They may also want to know if you are missing them, and they're going to repeatedly bring you up in group settings. Sign number 3, the social media watch. The dismissive avoidant will be stalking your social media, but it's going to be very strategic. At set times, they're not likely to like or comment on anything, and as long as they know that you can see the names of the people who viewed your stories, they're not going to be looking at your Facebook or Instagram stories. But they might be looking at tagged photos to see who you are tagged with, just in case it might lead them down a rabbit hole of who you might be dating now. The fearful avoidant, on the other hand, is going to be stalking your social media. They're going to be looking at everything that you post. They might be looking at your friends list to see if anybody new is showing up there that's the same gender they are. They definitely will be looking at your Facebook and Instagram stories, even if they know that you can see their name there, and they might even be liking or commenting on your posts. But because they kind of have this push-pull dynamic, you might also see that they later go back and delete comments. Sign number 4, the status game. The dismissive avoidant will be posting things on their social media to kind of talk about what's going on in their life that they're proud of, achievements, accomplishments, but it's going to be very carefully curated and very controlled. You might see them updating their LinkedIn frequently more than other social platforms. And they're focused on showing off their self-improvement, but they're not looking for attention or validation. The fearful avoidant, on the other hand, is going to alternate between posting about successes and achievements and posting about sadness. They might share cryptic emotional messages that are kind of vague booking, essentially, but you know what they mean by it. They may post things that are extremely vulnerable and extremely emotional and then go back and delete it later. So you'd have to be looking at their social media kind of regularly in order to spot that. And they'll also be showing off lifestyle changes, maybe changes in appearance, clothing, hair. Sign number 5, the memory test. The dismissive avoidant may occasionally post things from places where the two of you had been together. Or they might post something with a song that the two of you liked. And in group settings, they might make references to inside jokes that the two of you shared. But they're going to be very controlled about all of this, and it's going to be very subtle. Only you are likely to know what it really means. The fearful avoidant, on the other hand, may be posting pictures of places that the two of you went together, or places that the two of you talked about going to. They might even be posting pictures of the two of you together. And they might mention specific memories that you were definitely a part of. And they may go back to photos of the two of you together and tag others in those photos if there was any sort of involvement there. Sign number 6, the third party contact. The dismissive avoidant is going to maintain friendships with some of your family members. They may help mutual friends with favors, knowing that those favors are going to get back to you. And they overall are going to stay in touch with your social circle, even if they're not directly and overtly asking all these people about you. The fearful avoidant, on the other hand, is going to try and maintain contact with all of your mutual family and friends. They're going to try and stay as connected as possible to your family. And they're going to create group situations where they can engage with these people. And that way they've got ongoing multiple points of contact with people who are close to you. And sign number 7, the subtle return. The dismissive avoidant is going to send subtle messages at strategic times. You're still in no contact and they haven't reached out directly, but at this stage, they may begin to send little messages to you that aren't overt, they're not clear, they're not asking to see you, but maybe sending things like happy birthday when it's your birthday, or holiday greetings like Merry Christmas or Happy Hanukkah or Happy Thanksgiving. They might use mutual obligations, like maybe if you work together like a company holiday party, as an excuse to kind of get in your orbit. Or if the two of you are in the same industry, they might kind of create or even fabricate professional reasons to get together. But again, these aren't overt. They're not reaching out to you directly and saying, I miss you, I want to see you, can we talk? So stay in no contact until they do that. The fearful avoidant, on the other hand, is going to reach out with subtle messages like hey or hi or thinking of you. They might say something really emotional and then ghost you for a few days. They will always have that push-pull dynamic. Or they might use emergencies as a reason to reach out, like maybe a sick family member or something like that. And they're just going to continue that cycle of reaching out and then disappearing for a little bit. And again, as with the dismissive avoidant, stay in no contact until they reach out to you directly and it's clear they want to see you. Then make a date with them in the evening, ideally at your place, and make it happen. Remember, I do offer one-on-one coaching that can be in the form of a phone call, a Zoom session, or you can simply email me your problem and I'll record a custom video just like this one and get it back to you within a couple of weekdays. If you want more info on that, it's down in the description or on this card right up here. But let me know your story about what's going on with you and your avoidant ex down in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.